All right. So tonight, like I shared, we are sharing takeaways from this last weekend Gold School. And I'm actually going to ask Ashley to share first. She was going as a new gold. This is her first Gold School. But I'll say just kind of as introducing this and this being my third Gold School, this is the third time I've been to this event, hasn't really changed a whole lot since the first one I've been to. But let me just say this weekend was such a good reminder of the power of events. And even the power of going to the same event 3 times, because two things, like number one, you cannot duplicate the energy that you get when you are in a room with like-minded people who are pressing in to leadership, who are pressing in to growth, and who are pressing into vision. You cannot duplicate that energy. And so getting yourself in a physical room with people like that is just something that's renewing about that, something that is so powerful about that. And then the second thing, and I know Kim will resonate with this too, is every single time I go to Gold School, I learn something new. I take away a new nugget. I hear something different. I hear something that I didn't hear the first time. Maybe I'm at a different stage in my business. Maybe I'm in a different mindset and something hits me a little bit differently, and I walk away with a different takeaway. And I certainly felt that way this weekend. Feel like I've been in a little bit different season of my business this past summer and have been looking to shake some things up. And this is exactly the event that I needed to get my mind straight. So I'm just so thankful to get there. Y'all, if you have not been to a Gold School, it needs to be your top priority to get there. Like, forget the Alaskan cruise, forget the leaders retreat we've got going up. Getting yourself to Gold School will allow those other things to become a byproduct, because there is so much value there. You're going to make so many new great connections being there, and you're going to build so much belief in this company going to Gold School. It is seriously such a top tier elite training. And I really do mean that. It is so, so good. And so I'm excited first to just hear from Ashley, her first experience at Gold School, to kind of hear her takeaways. I'm going to share a couple, and then Kim's going to wrap us up, and just kind of share our takeaways, what we're planning to implement moving forward, and how this changed our business. So Ashley, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Yay. So, I feel like Gold School for me was really validating. It was that moment for me this weekend that was just the reassurance that I'm right where I'm supposed to be with the people that I'm supposed to be running with. Again, it just like convention, like you look around and you're just like, these are all my people, every single one of them. Like we're all like-minded. This is what I've always been praying for, like running with women who are just, and men who are doing the thing and truly making an impact. So that was number one. Number two, I feel like I kind of walked into Gold School not really knowing what I was going to learn, but also just hoping that I would get some tools to switch things up for me personally. I feel like I've been on social media for a really long time and kind of stuck in the same rut for too long, to the point where I knew that something had to shift. And I feel like this past weekend, I got that strategy, if you will. Like, number one, I spend way too long creating content. Like Genevieve couldn't hone that in anymore. Like it's really not that complicated. Setting a timer is gonna, I just have to live by the timer for everything, for creating my content, posting my content, engaging, reaching out to people. Like every single thing has to have a timer because the purpose of this business is to give you time freedom. And if I'm strapped to all the tasks and it soaks up all of my day, then I'm actually not practicing what I'm preaching. It's taking up more time than it is freeing up my time. And so I'm just trying to hone in on that. It just reiterated Genevieve's social media training. It was really straightforward. It wasn't anything like super groundbreaking, but the fact is probably every single one of us need to use a timer, right? Like it's easy to just get so sucked into social media. The other thing, the other big takeaway for me was I was in this place where I had this mindset that if someone didn't purchase a combo, it's like, all right, that's it, and it's like a bummer. And Genevieve, kind of like a little kick in the hiney a little bit. She's like, you guys have this mindset where if someone just can only afford or only wants like active, that's a sale that you didn't have before. So it shouldn't be the mindset it's a combo or nothing. If you can't do a combo, then what can you do? Like, or what do you need? Um, do you need energy? Then start on active. Do you need probiotics? Let's start you on probiotics. And then from there, you can check in with them and see, how are you doing with your probiotics? How are you loving active? And then build it up from there. So she had us do this exercise where she did like the 3 or a couple of no's or something. Like we sat and we did reach outs, like rapid fire reach outs, whether you're leading with the business or leading with the product. And even Kim was kind of challenging me a little bit on not just taking no for an answer, but wording it in a way that gets the conversation deeper to than just the no. Like, why are you saying no? Because I'm not naturally a salesperson. I am like, if you say no, I'm like, okay, like I don't want to push it. I don't want to ask you questions. I don't want to hurt your feelings. But the reality is there are so many times that I've said no, and there my like why behind the no has nothing to do with actually why I'm telling them no. So or maybe I don't know. So anyway, so we did this exercise and I reached out to a gal who I kind of had been talking to. She's like, I need your help on creating a better morning and, all this stuff. And she's telling me all these needs. And so I reached out to her and she says, well, I feel like I'm not really ready to like buy a combo yet because I just feel like I'm in the summer fog and I need to get out of the summer fog. And I was like, oh, I totally hear you. Like, I feel like I'm in the summer fog too. What if you joined me for I want to say Better Morning because that's my guide's name, but whatever our challenge is for the morning next week, what if you just grab some active and join us for, rock your morning? And she was like, yes, that would be amazing. Done. I was like, why haven't I been doing this all along? I mean, it's just like, not everyone can, and that was Genevieve's point. Like, not everyone can truthfully afford $140 right now. So if you can't afford that, throw out the options. I can help you afford that. Or let's strip it down even more and let's find the basic of what you need. But don't throw the baby out of the bathwater, basically, is what she was getting at. Like, it's okay if it's just one product. If it's not 100 PV, who cares? It shouldn't be like huge sale or no sale. It's just a sale. You know what I mean? And who knows if that one small sale, that one small little bite doesn't become something so much bigger. And so that just really challenged my mindset because I was so like triplexed or nothing. And then I just left the conversation. I've left a lot of conversations on this, like, all right, let me know when you're ready. When you come up with $140 and you want to do it. So that was my biggest takeaway. It definitely changed my mindset, my mind frame, and the way that I talk to people. Because I think also I would receive better that way too. If I knew for sure I couldn't do that right now, breaking it down and making it super bite-sized, I would say I would probably be like, yeah, I can totally do that. I can do pink drink today. So
I love that. That was a like good light bulb reminder for me too. And I think the more we're running these challenge groups now pretty much monthly. We've been doing them for about 4 months now. And these are really the purpose of these groups is to serve our existing customers, but also kind of be a gateway to get new people in. So I think that is such a great way to get somebody to come be a part of our community and experience one of our challenges, get to know some people, become part of the community, and then drip Triplex on them, get them in the team page, and be an extra layer of accountability and an extra layer of just information. So I love that. I loved your live that you did. If you haven't watched Ashley's live that she did after Gold School, go on her Instagram and watch it. I cried a couple of times watching it. Like, just the affirmations that the Lord gave her that day were so sweet. And you do such a great job, Sharon, on Instagram. You just inspire me. It's so good. Shannon, I'm just going to butt in and say, like, Kim is the objection queen. Ashley and I had that conversation on the way home from Gold School the other day. So Kim, I have one of your old Zooms saved somewhere, but I don't know if you have another one saved, but you're so good at objections. We'll have to do another call on that one night because you just always have the right words. So I'm going to quickly share my takeaways. So I had 2 big takeaways from this past Gold School. And the first one was kind of a bigger, like, overarching takeaway for me. And it was stop thinking small. And it's so funny how you can preach something and you can say something for 8 years to your own team, and you can even have lived out a concept in a lot of ways. But then, like I said, when you're in a different space and you're in a different season, it just hits you a little bit differently. And that hit me a little bit differently this weekend in that, and this is going to tie into something that we're going to start doing that I'm really excited about, but this is my personal responsibility. I have to start normalizing and start again normalizing people coming into this and ranking up quickly and moving through this process faster than I did. And I realize that's the mindset that I have been stuck in. Y'all know my story. I'm not a fast grower. It took me 4 years to go Emerald. It took me 5 years to go Sapphire, 6 years to go Sapphire. And I'm thankful for every single day of that. That's the leadership journey that God had me on. That is the path I had to take, but I have to, in my own mind, stop playing it small for other people who are joining my team. And this is something I said to my team after convention this year. I think somebody said it in one of the trainings. We have to start normalizing people coming into this and going silver in 24 hours again. We have to start normalizing people coming into this and going gold in 30 days, 60 days, fast starting all the way to senior Ruby, because we have the systems, we have the community, we have the culture, we have the people, y'all, we have the products, we have the right team, the right company. We have it all. We are limiting ourselves by our own beliefs, and those beliefs then pour into our actions. And that's another thing that was my second takeaway, is that the very thing that you're avoiding is the thing that's going to move the needle of your business forward. And one of the things that I feel like I've personally been avoiding is, I don't know, I can't put my finger on how to say it, but tweaking the way that I've been doing things for so long. And my takeaway from convention and really after this weekend is that we need to shake things up a little bit. The system that we currently have right now, and y'all know how big I am on systems, the system that we currently have right now is not developing golds at a rate that I want to develop golds. Bottom line, that is one of the big themes of this weekend is, here's how we go Emerald, here's how we go Jewel. You go gold, and then you turn around and you teach another girl how to go gold. And then that girl turns around and teaches another person how to go gold. You're going to go Jewel on building a team of golds. And that's so refreshing. I hope that encourages somebody here tonight. I know Libby and I had this conversation this past week where we get in our own heads and we think, okay, I've gotten to a certain point in this business, but I don't think I know how to get anybody else here. Sister, if you've done it, if you've gotten 50 points on your team, you can turn around and show somebody else how to get 50 points on your team. If you've gone silver, you can show somebody else how to go silver. And so that was just a mindset shift that I needed to make. One of the things that was said is that duplication is your ability to empower large groups of people to do simple tasks daily over a long period of time for long-term success. So one of the things that I'm committed to doing weekly from here to the end of time is doing weekly Go Gold workshops. And anybody that's on this call is welcome to join. Noelle, your team is welcome to join on these. Our first one is going to be this Thursday because I got to give myself a minute to get it together and build the ship. But this is going to be an hour-long call that I'm going to do on Wednesdays every week, probably at 12 or 1 o'clock. My kids are in school that day. And this is going to be everything from vision casting to a brand new person, to showing them what's possible with silver, senior silver, and gold, to mapping that out. We're going to create a list together. We're going to have workshop time to build those lists, and then create a game plan from running their first wellness event to making their first Facebook or Instagram post. This is going to be an all-encompassing, empowering hour where we're not just having a conversation about, hey, this is what you need to go gold, and here's some ideas. We are going to come together and build the ship for these people. And the beauty of this is that this is duplicatable, y'all. After Shannon goes gold, she can turn around the next week and invite her friend Sally, who's ready to do this business, right into that same call. And we are developing processes that duplicate. So I have not been this excited about a new process and a new system in a long time. This is a piece of the puzzle that's working for a lot of Jewel teams right now who are in massive momentum. And I love that it's simple, it's duplicatable, it's simple. Once you hear one of these calls, you'll be able to run one. So that was my biggest takeaway, is to get up out of my own head, do something a little bit different, be willing to stop thinking so black and white like I always do, and do something a little bit different. So that is Thursday. And Jamie, the date on that is what? Thank you. Jamie had to date check me when I put the graphic in my, so we're going to get the right date on it, but it's Thursday at 1, and I'm so excited to start these. So those are my takeaways. Kim, you want to jump in?
Hey, that was awesome, you guys. This is so good. Okay. So I told Chelsea, I'm like, put me last because I'll talk for an hour. So I'll just take the last 10 minutes and fit in what I can around what they said. So guys, I just want to reiterate what they said about the power of events. You just have to get yourself to them. I'm gonna try not to cry when I say this, but this is gonna speak to somebody. Sometimes you're gonna have to go alone. You're gonna have to go alone. You're gonna have no new leaders, or you're gonna have no new golds, or you're gonna have no whatever, and you gotta get yourself in the room anyway. I went to Align alone in January. I had 7 or 8 there with me the year before, and I went alone. And that's a season I've been in my business. You have to lead from the front. You have to get yourself in the room. You have to be willing to show up for yourself and for the people that are coming, and for people that maybe aren't in action right now, but they need you to stay in action. So it is so important that you just realize that no one's going to want it more than you. Your why, what God's purposes are for your life, you have to get yourself in rooms. And we can all do that now. Gold School is a great goal to set, like Chelsea said. There are rooms in your community right now that you can get into for free, or for $10 or $20. You can look up local networking groups. There are so many things that you can do to get yourself into a room. I love what Chelsea said in her story. She said, get yourself in a room with people that are smarter than you, or people that are further ahead than you. We all always want to be coachable. We can always learn from the new silver sitting next to you to the diamond at the top, whatever, right? So there is so much power in being able to network, to be able to get your questions answered, to get inspired, to get but it's not just motivation, it's tactical. Like, look at the things, the shifts, and Ashley, and she already took action, she already got a new result. Same with Chelsea, same with me. And a lot of me, Gold School was just confirmation of things that I had already been realizing, praying about, and also knowing some things that, like, my top takeaway from convention this year was gold calls. And Chelsea and I talked about it, and I told her on Saturday, I said, Jill Renfro sitting right there. And this is what I love about events. I said, ever since convention, I have wanted to know how she's doing these dang gold calls, because I need to start these. I've had a lot of girls go fast start gold, and I haven't done it in a while. And just like Chelsea, I'm like, I need to get back to this. What was I doing? How? And Chelsea was like, that was one of mine. I was like, okay, Chelsea and Ashley, they're probably going to laugh at me, because I was like, I'm going up to Jill. I'm not, if I come, I'm going to get my money's worth. I didn't actually have to pay for Gold School, so there's no money's worth. But I'm like, I'm going to talk to as many people as I can and get in their heads and find out what they're doing. I didn't come for nothing. And so I want you to encourage you to have that energy when you get, I hardly even ate any of my lunch. I was too busy talking. I'm like, what's she doing? What's she doing? And so, but it's so great because I got to talk to Angie Ambrosetti, one of our newest diamonds, and here personally, I had questions for her, and it validated for me some changes I need to make personally that I'll share with y'all. And one of those is the power of in-person events for ourselves. And Chelsea and I have been realizing this ourselves over the last several months. I got to a point, y'all, that I almost considered like just leaving all this, throwing it all. I actually had to get off of social media for 30 days because I was so feeling sick of social media. I am a very deep in person. My team, we get together and we talk for hours. We cry, we go deep, we go right into like all the things most people are usually trying to hide. And that's us. That's how we do. And that's the kind of relationship I want. And it has not felt great and authentic to me, especially when I was signing so many people, that I hardly feel like I would get to know these people. And so getting your people in person, one of my excuses has been, well, my team's not local. I don't have anybody like around here really. And so I think we do this a lot in our businesses where we're like, well, none of my people want to share, so I can't develop a silver, or none of my people, and we get stuck in the problem mode instead of how can we be in solution mode. So something one of my favorite friends in this business, Brooke Hemingway, taught me is to stop saying being an automatic no person. No, I can't go to convention. No, I can't get to gold. No, I can't whatever. And say, well, if I was going to go to convention, how might I do that? Could I ask my mother-in-law to watch the kids? Could I do, and how we can get into solution mode, right? So for me, one of those things is I was like, okay, if I was going to create a local team, because I see the teams in momentum right now, Chelsea and I have talked a lot about this, the teams in the most momentum in Plexus right now blowing up have awesome team culture and community. And I keep seeing their pictures, their videos of them gathering, mom's night out, and them gathering, creating content and doing stuff, taking all their cute pictures, their videos, they're at this mountain house. And I'm like, I want it, but I don't have it. So how can I create what I want? And so I was like, okay, I reached out to people recently on social media on these teams and asked, this is my, like, how did you do this? How are you doing this? I always want to be coachable. And one of the girls told me like, hey, one of the ways I did it was I started doing at local boutiques, and like, I would do like a sip and shop. And I'm like, okay, that's out of my comfort zone. I've never done one. I've never done a vendor event. And on my birthday, you better believe I marched my booty into like a little boutique in downtown Woodstock. And I asked, and me and the owner already made friends. And I have one set, Chelsea, it's the 24th. So Saturday, the 24th, and we're doing the dang thing. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how it's going to go. But if I want to sign more women locally to grow a local team, then I need to do more things locally. And then Chelsea and I were talking, another thing I want to share in case this encourages you. I started realizing this a while back and started trying to do a once a month VIP gathering for my team, for my VIPs, for those that do live locally, because I was getting more and more from trying to make some shifts, but no one could come. And then it would be like just one person. And then next month, just 2 people that were on my team. And then you know what I did? I stopped because I was like, no one's coming. And Jill got to preach to me this weekend, and she said, girlfriend, you can't stop when there's 1 or 2. And Angie said the same thing. So I knew that was something God wanted me to hear when I talked to them both one-on-one. And Jill Renfro, sorry if I didn't say who I'm talking about, but these 2 diamonds, I got to talk to them separately. And they said, you cannot stop when there's just 1 or 2. Jill said when she lost diamond, lost sapphire, almost lost emerald, and she started doing something, she's like, can 1 person would show up to that call, or that they are 2 people, and you start small. And so it's 1 small step at a time, 1 person. And Angie said the same thing. She started doing vendor events, and she started doing these in-person gatherings, and it would be really small. And she just kept going. If you build it, they will come. So that was really validated for me at convention, or it was already in my head, but it really got validated for me this weekend. And so we are getting back to our roots, I think, and I can see Plexus with flying our corporate all over the place of being a belly to belly business. And people want community. They want that. So many of you, you're here for that, even if you think you aren't, or you love that part of it. And so many people need this community. And so we can build that. Are we gathering with our people? Are we making time for those in-person connections? Or like time, my goal of mine is to do a coffee a week with somebody, that whether that's a virtual coffee or in person when I can, to get to know somebody. And I'm seeing how it's working so much better to foster relationships. So, okay. So another thing is helping our VIPs. So a lot of times we get overwhelmed by gold, right? We're like, oh my gosh, that's like, 18, 20 or whatever people, like that's so many people in the organization. But when we, like, even with silver, we tend to be like, okay, well, you just got to get 3 people. And we're desensitized because we're in Plexus, we do this for a living. And for someone coming in brand new, 3 people is a lot. And they're like, that can seem like just a lot. Whereas if you say, like, again, Brooke Hemingway does, I love it, like just +1 will change your business. If you are a senior silver business, you have 50 points in your organization. If you help each of those people just bring in 1 friend or their spouse or a family member, you just won gold. Okay, so it's +1. I think we forget all the time that we can just say, who's going to be your 1 person, your accountability buddy. I'm so guilty of going, like Ashley was saying, a takeaway. I'm so guilty of just triplex or nothing. Triplex or nothing. And I needed to hear, every time I hear it, I'm like, yes, like it's okay if they just start with ProBio. It's okay if they just start with active or something under 100 PV. Get them a quick win, get them going. Like we have so many diamonds that started on 1 product. So I'm so glad you said that, Ashley, because it's so true. But Like, can we help them get one? And then when they get one, like, think about it. They're like, oh, okay, just one. I can do one. And then they get one. You're like, girl, you're only 2 away from like $350. Did you know that? Like, and it's just the one next small step, right? So what Genevieve was saying that blew a couple of our minds, and she's like, guys, you know what a gold organization is? You commit to your 4 VIPs in a month. Okay, because 4 is the new 3. And we're gonna do one a week. If you think about it, guys, if you're really doing IPAs, if you're posting in your stories and you're talking on social media and you're messaging people and you're forming connections, if you're doing the business activities, you should be able to help one person a week get started. You have 7 whole days to just help one person. Okay. So then if you can help one VIP get started a week, can you turn around and help that VIP get one person in their first week, and another in their second week, and another? So really what she was saying is when you help 4 people, each get 4 people, and they only have to do like one a week, you just built a gold organization. And we complicate this all the time. And this person needs to go silver, and this person, it's just like one person helping one person, helping one, and that's how you build it. And then this blew my mind. I can't forget who said that, but she said, if you can go gold, you can go diamond. I'm so guilty of being like, sapphire seems so far away and I can't even imagine going diamond. But if you can go, it's built on golds. So if we can get this, I'm so glad Chelsea is going to start this, because that was my biggest, like I said, takeaway from convention. And I would say, like, when you guys see these people up on stage at convention and these bright and shiny diamonds or whatever, and you're like, oh, it's amazing when you get to just bump shoulders with them and talk to them at these smaller events. There are always people from all these different teams, and you can go up and ask them your questions in person. And that's what I did. And it's up to you to make the most of it and to get what you came for, you know? Okay, so then Bethany, I want to share this. I think this will help a lot of you. So I don't really struggle with this mindset, but I loved this, and I think a lot of people do on my team, and so it might preach to some of y'all. She said, so often our mindset is what's wrong, and we say, well, I don't want to bother people. Like, I don't want to bother someone asking about this business. And she said, instead, change your thought to, who can I empower to do this with me? That's a whole different thought that feels super good, you know, versus if you feel like you're bothering someone, guess what? You are, and you're the problem, and your thought's the problem, not actually what you're offering them, right? So the truth is, she said, and this is also so true, that everyone either needs or wants more money. Is there anyone on this call, please raise your hand or drop in the chat, that doesn't either want or need any more money? Yeah, I didn't think so. She's like, so our job is to share this with as many people as possible, period. You're solving people's problems. You have a solution for them. Okay, and last big thing she said is, and I love that Genevieve said this, she said, do not sell in your feed. Your feed is to add value. It is to serve your audience. It is to form connections. It is to start conversations, and not necessarily about Plexus, right? Just building community, building culture, building people, like, and then here's the neat thing. I actually saw the power of this at the end of July. I was pushing really hard. I lost Emerald for 1 month since I've ever hit it in June. And I was like, no, ma'am. July, we are re-ranking Emerald and we are onward, and that will never happen again. And there's a whole lot of backstory behind that. And I totally let it go and I let it happen. But I will say that I was like, in all the, like, I've got to get all these signups at the end of the month to hit this goal. And I had a couple of posts that you would say tanked. So one of them had 3 likes. Okay. And I'm like, that's a failure. I almost took it down because I was like embarrassed that nobody liked it. Don't ever do that. As I was going back at the end of the month, I heard something somewhere about, like, somebody saying something about somebody likes your post. You guys, I went back and I looked at the comment, who liked them. I can't tell you the last time I looked at my post just to see who liked it, because I never reach out to people who just like. I'm always just looking at the comments, the story, whatever. So I reached out 2 people on my own posts that liked it. One was interested in the business. I'm sorry, there was 3. 2 were interested in the products. And my reach out was simply, hey girl, I saw you like my post. And by the way, one of them was 2 weeks ago. So it's not like it's too late for you to start doing this from last month. And I said, hey, I saw you liked my post about what, the Plexus supplements I take or whatever. I said, were you just supporting me? And if so, thank you so much. Or are you interested for yourself? And people I've never talked to before with a bunch of health issues. So that was a big takeaway for me, that she really that we always have people to talk to, y'all, to reach out to build. If you're posting some content, even if it's just a few times a week, you always have people to start conversations. And that's the point of the post, is to start a conversation, to be a human on the internet. Don't make it weird, get to know somebody, and then do more of the kind of selling stuff in your stories. And I will say another big thing nobody mentions, I'm gonna throw it in real quick. She said, stop y'all commenting on each other's posts all the time. She's like, you know what's going to happen, Kelsey? I think we were all like, because so often we are in our threads or our chats or our teams. She's like, you know what happens is it kills the algorithm. Your people, you're seeing all their stuff. They're seeing all your stuff. And guess whose stuff you're not seeing? People that are not on Plexus yet. She's like, so you can love your Plexus people. She's like, we all love you. We all love each other. Stop commenting on each other's posts. Like literally, it will change it where all of a sudden you're going to start seeing stuff from people that you haven't seen in forever. So just like love it secretly, or send them a DM to tell them that you loved it, but like make sure she's like, it really, you don't just want the same 3 people commenting on all of your posts. And also she said something I've never thought of, that really dings the credibility of your post. She's like, because if you just have these girls that are already on Plexus, so we know we've probably all done this, when you put up a post about like, who wants to try my pink drink, and then people on your own team that are already on it are like, me, or I'm interested. She's like, that's actually really tacky. And it's showing people, like, as they come in, like, you're basically lying to them, acting like people are not on the products that were. I had never thought of it that way. And I was like, ew, I'm never doing that again. So I want to share that. Okay, last thing, I swear this is my last storytelling. She's like, guys, you are storytelling in your post, in your story, in your everyday. But she's like, in storytelling, there needs to be a hero who came from zero. And she's like, guess what? It's not you. She like, stop sharing about your success where you are the star. And I'm so guilty of sharing what this business, and I try to always flash back to where I was, but she's like, they need to be in the movie and they need to be the star. It's about how you can make them the hero of their own story. You know, we have some awesome ways to do that, and that people really buy for an emotional reason, and then they back it up with facts. So we don't need to splander all the facts all over the place and to all the numbers. That for me and my team, this is a tough one. A lot of us are very passionate about holistic health and wellness and ingredients and all of that. But a lot of people are going to look, if we're doing that all the time, and think that they could never do what we do. Because they're going to think they'd have to be an expert and they'd have to know all that stuff. Which is why, like, when I started, I introduced people to Chelsea right away. I wanted to be the expert. I wanted to know everything, and I wanted to do it myself. But I let myself be coachable and then watch what she did, because I had no idea how to talk about gut health. I didn't know anything about the product. She knew it all and I knew nothing. And that is what blew my business up, was connecting them to her, a simple system. And then I could then exactly do what she did and connect people to my page. And that's how you got to make sure you've got something simple that's the same with every person, so that your people feel like they can do it and they can do it. Okay, I said like that was the last thing like 8 times, but I really am done. And Shannon, I sent you a video already on Instagram, because objections are like my heart and soul and passion. Because actually, when you said that, it breaks my heart, because I'm like, how many people, not to like make you feel bad, but how many people have walked away that needed this? And honestly, my conviction is the exact opposite of most people's. When someone tells me no, or they don't think this is for them or whatever, I always ask more questions, because I know there's something deeper. And I really, if I know that what I have can change their life, I feel so convicted that it's up to me to help them overcome, like to help them see why. And to see what's really like, I had a girl at the end of it, she was ready to purchase on the essay of the month. And the next morning she's like, can I have the link to order? And then the next day she was like, I don't think this is for me. No, I'll send it to you. She said, I don't think this is for me. And, but thanks so much for your time. And I was like, hey, absolutely. I understand. No pressure whatsoever. I said, do you mind me asking what it is that changed your mind? Because yesterday you were ready to order, and then today, you're not interested. And she was like, well, I've actually done lots of MLMs before, and I've never really used the products. And so I don't want this to be just another thing that sits there. So see, there was a reason behind it, y'all. She's lacking belief in herself and her ability to stay consistent. And then I was able to say, I totally understand that. I've actually done multiple MLMs too, because I do the feel, felt, found, I relate. So what I found is that Plexus is so simple. It takes me about 60 seconds a day to take my supplements. So whether I'm traveling, whether my kids are sick, whether they're home for summer break and I'm going to pull my hair out, I can still do this. And that actually helped me build belief in myself by starting small with something that's easy to stay consistent with, that I could do it. And then she got into nutrition, and all of a sudden she decided she's going to work with a nutritionist. But a minute ago, she didn't have money for a welcome pack. So, there's always things, guys. So
It's always deeper. That's such a gift of yours. That's such a gift. I would love to open it up for questions. I did want to share one other thing, and Shannon, your comment, just having a better story strategy just kind of sparked this for me. Something that was very affirming for me this weekend. I'm sorry if y'all can hear that like siren in the background. It's our pipes. I don't know what's going on, but okay, good. You can't hear it. Because I can, it's very loud. One of the things that Amber Miller talked about was her story strategy. And if you haven't been following her, she is a great follow. Wild Style Family on Instagram, spelled all one word, Wild Style Family. She has a farm, the whole thing. She's adorable. If you look in her feed, I don't think she's made a feed post in like a month. Like she does not post in her feed, but she's a diamond. She was one of the early diamonds. She has grown a whole separate emerald leg since last May. So she's gone emerald on her reentry account in 1 year by posting strictly in stories, just stories. And her strategy is to post Plexus every single day. She shares it amidst her real life, but she shares Plexus every single day, 60% business, 40% products. That's her strategy. So it's not, she doesn't post a certain thing on Monday and Tuesday. It's just balancing it out, but being in your stories every single day. And I think that's a good reminder for us. And this was said also this weekend, is that I don't know about y'all, but my story views, like they vary from day to day. Like today, I think I had 4,000 story views. Last week, there was a day where I had 400 story views. So all over the map. I don't know if that's healthy or not for like, that's just the way that it is for me. So the same people are not seeing your stories every day. They're not engaged every single day. Ashley's going to be busy with her kids on Monday and she's going to miss my stories. And Shannon's going to be busy on Wednesday. So just to reiterate that you cannot post too much. Like we're in a day and age where people need more touches than they needed 5 years ago. They do. So don't stop overthinking sharing in your stories. Get in there, share value outside of Plexus every single day, and share Plexus every single day in some way, shape, or form. I think that's just a good reminder for us. Yeah, she was on the leaderboard in every single category last week. New business builders, new VIPs, pivotal signups, all the things. Number one, not just on the leaderboard, number one. So she's on to something. She had a ton of golds there at Gold School this week. So just the power of connection and the power of stories too. I really enjoyed
Just encourage everyone to get on the call next week, because when I listened to her at Leadership of Excellence training, I went up to her right after. I'm like, will you speak to our team?
That's right. She's doing the call next week.
She is next week going to be showing us how she creates golds under golds. And that's her thing, golds under golds. And I also asked her to share her story, which I'm going to mute myself now. You will love her story.
I'm so excited to hear from her. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to share or any questions? We can open it up if we wanted to. Who has never been to a Gold School? The next one is in Dallas, Texas. They haven't announced a date yet, but it's going to be October. If you have not been to Gold School, I want you to, as soon as we find out the date, I want you to write it on your calendar and make it your top priority to get there. It is so good. And not just to get there, but bring somebody with you. You get an invite to Gold School when you go gold or senior gold, or when you develop a level 1 gold or senior gold. Kim, Stephanie, do you know if you get another invite when you go senior gold? Or is it just hitting gold the first time? I can't remember.
I think it's just gold the first time.
Okay.
I'm pretty certain.
Okay.
I was going to say just real quick, I just want to normalize doing events and nobody shows, because I did that for the first 2-3 years in this. And I'm here to tell you, you guys, it did not bother me a bit. I mean, of course I was bummed that people didn't show, but I would take a picture of myself or a picture of me and my sponsor who were at these events, often just the two of us, maybe one other person showed, and we would take a selfie together and be like, great event tonight at da 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 da. Nobody knows. Honestly, it gave us just, it helped build our backbone. It helped us practice and sharing our story. Often we had, where we would do events, people that owned the location that we did an event in, or maybe they were servers in a restaurant. A lot of times we signed them up because there was nobody else around. So I just want to normalize that. Noelle and I did a call together today, and we were talking about, just because, she started like a year after I did. So we've been in this like almost since day one together, and we've seen the ebbs and the flows of social media. I've never been a big social media person. People have in this company have come up to me and they're like, you're a 3-star diamond and you have 1,500 followers on Instagram. Yes, I do. So I just want to stand as the example of pick up the phone and call people. I might sound like a damn dinosaur to say that, but pick up the phone and call people. Go to lunch with people, like Kim said, go to coffee with people. Social media is a tool and it's great, but don't put all your eggs in that basket with this has to build my business, because you have people in your circles that are not seeing your social media posts. They have no idea what you make a month with Plexus, and they have no idea what these products do for you. And they think highly of you. So pick up the phone. I just want to challenge people to do that. I feel like everything comes back full circle in life with fashion. Like I'll wear some stuff nowadays. My mom's like, I wore that in the 70s, and everything comes full circle. So let's allow this to come full circle. Let's act like it's 1995. Let's pick up the phone and call people and say, hey, can we catch up? Can we go get a cup of coffee? Can we get our kids together? Can it, you know, seriously, let it be organic. You know, it doesn't have to be weird, but seriously, like, let's just do that. That's all I want to say.
I want to reiterate that. I had a phone call today with a girl from Instagram. We'd never met before. And I was like, hey, can I call you? She is interested in the business. So I immediately, like this afternoon, we had a call at 6 o'clock and she was like, oh my gosh, you're a real live person. And I was like, yeah, like we're having a connection. She said, I can't tell you the last time. She actually said this. She said, I can't tell you the last time I picked up the phone and had a conversation intentionally with somebody. It's always text. We talked for 30 minutes today and she's coming to the gold call on Thursday. And it was such a good reminder. Like you said, like people want to connect. And you know what's even better about that? This woman I found out today, is a school counselor. She's 53. She has like 80 something followers on Instagram. So if I had prejudged her, I don't even know if I would have scheduled a call with her in my busy day. But she's an amazing communicator, like great in-person communicator. She has a crazy network at school. If she's a counselor, she knows everybody there. So don't count somebody out, you know? And that's what I've been so impressed about too, is a lot of these teams who are on fire are not recruiting big social media influencers. They're recruiting people who are good at relationships and who are good connectors of people and who have that skill. So that's a great reminder, Steph.
Chelsea, can I add one thing to that?
Yeah.
As it piggybacks on what you and Steph just said, is that I was at the library this week and my daughter was running around. Our new library just reopened and my daughter was playing with somebody's kid and the mom kind of interjected something and we started bantering. And then I asked her kind of about what I think it was back to school and where kids go and everything. And she's like, yeah, they're starting up next week. She's like, I'm actually taking off this year. And she's like, I usually work full time. She's like, but I just want to be home with the kids more. And so she's like, I'm really excited to do more of this stuff in the library. And I was like, that's amazing. I was like, I'm a stay-at-home mom too. I was like, well, I work from home. I was like, well, what did you do? Tells me how she was a sales leadership development. She was the top in her company at developing leaders in the sales industry. And it was all social media and online and marketing. And you guys know the fireworks are like going off in my head, right? Because now she's going to be home and that's probably going to be a huge adjustment. And so anyways, we had such a great conversation and I was like, do you mind if we get connected? And like, I'd love to like get the kids together again or whatever. And so we connected through Facebook just because it's a great tool to be able to like get to know her more. But like these people are all around us in real life. Like I said, I want to grow a local team, build community, build culture. It's like there's people right there. And we get so bogged down. For months, the Lord's been working on my heart about just getting off of social media more and realizing that that is not the only way. It's a great tool, like Steph said, but it's not the only one. And you take it off when you can, maybe even start a connection there. And like Chelsea said, that and get on the phone. I've been big on that with my team and it's
So
a game
good.
changer.
So good. All right, y'all. Anybody else want to hop in? Ashley and Kim, thank y'all for sharing. It was so good to get to hug y'all in person and be together, and we'll see y'all in Dallas. I'm excited. All right, I'll pop the recording. I'll send the recording out to the Jules on here so we can all have it if we need it. Love you guys.